the right way to approach the problem now.
Ramon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Monsieur Trichet, there are countries in the Eurozone that are starting to recover, and some others, like Spain, in which the absence of reforms will condemn them to remain in recession for the coming months or years. In France, for instance, household lending and house purchase are now growing, while in Spain the housing market remains flat and lifeless. Under a European divergence scenario, it could happen that the optimum currency area assumptions wouldn't be valid anymore, and that an average monetary policy would start being harmful instead. For example, in some European countries like Germany or France, start having positive inflation rates, while in other countries like Spain, Greece, Portugal or Ireland continue in deflation. So in this case, implementing an average monetary policy could be harmful, especially in the monetary policy, due to the high weight of French and German economies, leads to the average monetary policy becoming slightly restrictive. This would lead to further rounds of deflation in the deflationary countries. Has the ECB a plan to cope specifically with this issue, or will the ECB continue with the average monetary policy it has exercised until now? And just another question, a question about transparency. I think that transparency reinforces independence, and I believe that there isn't a trade-off between transparency and independence. To increase its legitimacy, the ECB should publish the minutes of the Governing Council meetings in accordance with the practices of the US Federal Reserve System, the Bank of England or the Bank of Japan. And this transparency, isn't it also for the internal models used to value illiquid collaterals? And please, do not necessarily you have to talk about possible nationalistic interpretations of transparencies. This crisis has increased our conscience that we all live in the same boat. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for your remarks. First observation. We are in a single monetary union. When entering, and this is also a message for you, but also for colleagues that we are asking questions on entering into the euro area. Entering in the euro area means you understand that you are in a single currency area. The euro itself is single. Seen from Asia, seen from America, there is no 2 euro, 1 euro for Spain and 1 euro for the rest of the euro area. There is only 1 euro. There is only one credibility of the euro. There is only one interest rate of the euro. There is only one exchange rate of the euro. And there is, of course, an institution which is responsible for the credibility of the euro, for the overall price stability in the euro area as a whole, 330 million people, 16 countries. Same order of magnitude as the United States of America. Nobody thinks that the United States of America is designing its monetary policy for the sake of California, or for the sake of Massachusetts, or for the sake of Florida, or for the sake of the Wyoming. The monetary policy of the United States is designed for the continent of the United States. We design the monetary policy for the continent of the euro area, and again, these two continents have approximately the same dimension. So again, this is extremely important. Of course, there remains, when you have a monetary policy that has been designed for the stability and the prosperity of 330 million people, you have a number of national decisions. National decisions as regards fiscal policies, national decisions as regards the monitoring of unit labour cost in the economy, national decisions as regards the structural reforms. And again, the amplitude of what can be done through national channels is considerable, considerable. And I call, of course, for this understanding of the importance of what remains national in the framework is very important. We have a peer surveillance of the fiscal policies. We have more and more a peer surveillance of the, I would say, competitive indicators evolution, including unit labour cost, and that is good. And we have, of course, the surveillance of structural policies. As regards transparency, let me say that we were the first central bank in the world to publish in real time an introductory statement of 5 to 6 pages to explain in detail what was the reasoning of the Governing Council. It did not exist before the ECB was created. We transformed the way one looks to transparency when we were created. We were the first important central bank to introduce press conference immediately after the decision of the Governing Council. That has been introduced by my predecessor, Wim Duisenberg, and this is also a way to be as transparent as possible, to respond to questions in real time immediately after the decision of the Governing Council. 5 or 6 pages of explanation to explain what is our judgment, what is our diagnosis, and what is the way we are looking at it, a press conference immediately afterwards. We consider that it is not appropriate to mention the individual votes when they are individual votes, and we consider that it is appropriate, taking into account that we have 16 different countries and that each member of the Governing Council has to defend the decision that has been taken by the pertinent entity, which is the College, the Council of Governors.